Manchester has always been synonymous with organised crime. There's always been a strong gang culture, and in recent years the city has seen a surge in drug-related violence. One of the city's most infamous firms was the Quality Street Gang. In the 60s, 70s and early 80s, they ran the city's crime scene. One of its key members was local legend Jimmy the Weed Donnelly. Over the years he's been a boxing promoter, a publican and a hotelier. Jimmy was immortalised when Thin Lizzy wrote a song about him, Johnny the Fox Meets Jimmy the Weed.
I was working in Smithfield Market and I was working for a firm, Woods, and a guy working on the stall there one day said, "Fucking hell, he grows on you, this fella, he's like a weed." I was only 16 years of age at the time, and that was it. That's carried right throughout my life.
Jimmy and members of the QSG used to drink at the Wally Range Hotel, whose landlady was Phyllis Lynott.
She had a young son there that was always playing the guitar and in small groups and things like that. And we got to know him, and then over the years he became famous, and then he formed the band Thin Lizzy. So of course, as time went on, and one particular time, we're all in Italy, and we come back, we've gone into the bar for a drink, and Phyllis says, "Oh, the boys are back in town, hang on for them." And with that, it clicked, and he wrote the song, "The Boys Are Back in Town."
The QSG wasn't an organised firm like the Crays or the Richardsons in London. It was more of a loose collection of local criminals who came together for specific jobs when it suited them. Their reputation spanned the entire country.
Oh, well, we was massive. We were all over the city. You know, nightclub owners, pub owners, restaurant owners, they'd look up to us, and they went out of the way. If we walked in, it was like royalty. If we went into any of the bars, we just walked in and the drinks was free. We didn't want it, we paid our way. But, sometimes it happened and whatever. But we knew that if some fucking idiots walked in and caused problems or anything like that, they only had to pick the phone up. They'd know whereabouts we was, what club we was in, and we'd whip round there and we'd soon sort it out for them. And not only that, I suppose, lots of places we didn't go in. They just had to say, "Hey, you know who owns this, or I've got a share in here, the QSG," and they'd fuck off, and that was the end of it.
Without doubt, the QSG were both feared and respected, and Jimmy himself had a violent reputation.
Back in them days, well, I think I've always been a violent person. All my life. And it's hard to explain that one, but I've used everything from a knife to a gun, and it's just a case that it had to be at the time. No regrets over it, do it all again. But I was never a big fella, and some of these people I came up against was like 6 foot odds, and when I stand up I knew I'd have no chance. So to level it out, the hammer or the axe or the knife came in. And yes, I've been violent all my life, always have been. People knew that if they did anything that would upset us, that that something would happen. There'd be a return. And whatever it was, whatever it deserved, it was meted out. So no, I don't think people feared us, but they knew that they would get hurt if they crossed us in any way, or, as we put it, fucked us, and that was it. So they knew, and if it was like Jimmy Swords, they knew if they offended any of the firm that something would happen back.
The QSG were involved in organising protection rackets, fraud and armed robberies throughout the country.
Are there any specific crimes you can talk about that the QSG committed?
There's plenty, but I wouldn't mention anything, of what was done. But I do know that in them days there was a lot of robberies that was done.
Well, the police were getting increasingly frustrated, weren't they, by the lack of convictions?
Well, that was right. That was right. Well, you know, in all fairness, Joe Swords and Vinnie Schiavo did get charged with and they got the Ilkeston bank robbery. They went to Shrewsbury Crown Court and was found not guilty.
The police had long believed that Jimmy Donnelly and his brother Arthur were working with the IRA and may have even been connected to the huge bomb that ripped through Manchester in 1996. Many of the QSG were said to have Irish connections.
You know, looking at it on paper, and you was a policeman investigating, you'd see our connections. Well, you know, you would think, hey, these guys are at it over here and what have you, because there was people going over to Ireland and coming backwards and forwards. There was lots of things that was done. There was a few robberies, banks in Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland. So, you know, I could see where it was coming from. A few of the Irish boys did come over and did go on a couple of nights out with certain members of the QSG. So there is a connection, but there's certainly none for doing anything over there.
In 1986, Deputy Chief Constable of Greater Manchester Police John Stalker was running the shoot to kill investigation in Northern Ireland. However, he was suspended from his job over alleged connections and friendships with the QSG and a local businessman named Kevin Taylor.
As far as I'm concerned, Stalker never ever gave any information to us, and we never gave any information to him. And it's a liberty what happened to him.
Can you explain who Kevin Taylor is? Because you just said I was a
Kevin Taylor was a local guy that had a car business as well. A bit of a, well, he wasn't a bit of, he was a big gambler, big-time gambler. And that's how he made his living. Then he went in the car business, and he became big in the Conservative Party. He became the treasurer of the local branch, and he started doing a lot of building work in the Salford area, Broughton and round there. He built a lot of properties there, but still stayed pals with the firm. And on occasions, we'd lend him money. I lent him money personally, which he paid me back. And then of course, Stalker was his pal. He told us that. He never asked for anything out of us, Kevin Taylor, and we never asked Kevin Taylor if he could get Stalker to do any favours. Kevin was a stand-up guy. But anyway, they ruined him, the police, when they went into his banks and told him that he was a gangster and a fraudster, and that was it, and his business collapsed. And then he got awarded 2 or 3 million quid when he won his case against the police. Unfortunately, he didn't live to enjoy it. You know, he died a couple of years after that.
Jimmy is now a pensioner, living quietly in a residential community in the heart of Manchester. His days of living a lavish lifestyle behind him.
Well, the thing is, like everything else in age, the QSG, we all had different interests. Everybody in the firm was wealthy. We didn't need the aggravation really anymore. Most people, including Jimmy Swords, moved out of the city to bought the big houses, including myself, and we moved out, and of course we used to meet and still meet 2 or 3 nights a week and go out for meals together, and 20-handed, and to this day, you know, part of them still do.
And no regrets?
No regrets whatsoever.
Jimmy's brother Arthur is one of the most infamous faces in Manchester. Once dubbed the Freddie Foreman of the North West, he works out of a scrapyard in the city centre. Over the years he's been connected to a wide range of criminal activity, including counterfeiting, drugs, fencing stolen goods and protection rackets. Many people believe that he was the real godfather of Manchester, pulling the strings behind his more flamboyant brother.
All them lads there in the QSG was all nice people, still are, who's what's alive. They're all nice people, and they kept this town under control, not with threats of violence or threats of this, threats of that, because he was nice people, seen about, they all worked locally, well respected, you know. Some was working all the main nightclubs in Manchester, done all electric work and all that. It was like a community then, Manchester. And them lads made sure everything was run straight.
No trouble in Moss Side, was there?
No, none of that.
None of it. All the old Jamaican boys used to come in the clubs and what have you. No trouble, Chinatown or any, there was no trouble. All the way round.
There was a kid down there in Moss Side called Don Sony. And like I say, he's more down Jimmy's area, but Don Sony, he supplied all the beer for the Sabines and everything.
He run Moss Side.
He run Moss Side, and his
But
wife.
he was with us, Don Tony.
And he had a kid called, what's it not?
Cockney, Billy.
No, not Billy. Anyway, but even them, you know, it was a two-way thing.
So what
There's
changed
no Gucci's and fucking all them.
What changed it then?
What changed it?
Well, I think,
I think
one,
the
when you
fucking
say
police-
that, it was a fear, but not a fear like, you're trying to say like one person. It was a fear of like, fucking hell, if we cause any aggro in here like that, fucking QSG will be coming after us. We don't want that. And so it became a verbal thing. It's just, and it was acknowledged all over, don't cause any fucking aggro.
I mean, I've read in the media, Arthur Donnelly, Freddie Foreman of the North West.
Well, who the fucking hell made that up? I've not got a clue. I'm sat in my fucking shit. I've got no Rolls Royces. I've got no Rolls Royces. I'm an old age fucking pensioner. And like, as regards my money, you know, nobody can fucking rob me. I own this fucking gaff here.
No, but I think the implication of the Freddie Foreman was gangster, do you know what I mean?
Well, that's what they do, don't they? The press do that. We've done more for people in this town than a lot of people. A lot of you know, hard work for people. And fucking giving money to fucking charities and all that. No, we're regular people. And like, we've lived our life the way
Never
lived.
took a penny off a working man. Never.
I mean, we are part of the history of Manchester. You know, and I'm beginning to realise this, you know, it's like, you know, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing here now. I mean, you know, and I try to put the record straight a little bit if you can. I suppose it's impossible, but the thing is, we are, and they are, all them lads should remain nameless. They're all good kids and serve this town well.